Imagine this. You're sitting by a campfire, the crackling flames casting long shadows in the dark, and a chilling breeze rustles the trees around you. Suddenly, you hear something. Soft at first. Whispers. Voices that don't belong. But who could be out there? And why does it feel like they're calling your name? Welcome to the world of cursed voices. In this video, you'll hear some of the most terrifying true campfire horror stories, where the whispers from the dark aren't just tricks of the wind. These voices, cursed, vengeful, and haunting, have driven people to the brink of madness. They come from spirits with unfinished business, twisted souls desperate for attention, and ancient forces that refuse to let the living rest. You'll learn about legends that have haunted campgrounds for generations and hear stories of campers who made the mistake of listening to the wrong voice. Why should you stick around until the end? Because the last story is one that has never been fully explained. Or could it be a warning from the other side? Or something even darker? So grab a seat, keep your flashlight close, and prepare yourself for an experience like no other. Welcome to Cursed Voices. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a chilling tale from the shadows. Before we talk about the eerie encounters by campers, let's dive into the legend of La Llorona, also known as the Weeping Woman. This chilling tale has its roots in Mexican folklore and has haunted generations for centuries. La Llorona is said to be the ghost of a grieving mother who lost her children. Some say she drowned them in a fit of rage, while others believe they were taken from her. Now cursed to wander the earth, she roams near rivers and lakes, searching for her lost children, her cries filled with despair and regret. Campers tell of nights when her mournful wails pierced the silence of the forest. At first, the sound seems distant, almost like the wind. But as the hours pass, the cries grow louder and closer, laced with an unexplainable sorrow. Some say the voice seems to call out to them specifically, luring them toward the water's edge. One camper, ignoring repeated warnings about the legend, ventured toward the source of the cries, determined to prove it was just a myth. He claimed the voice called his name over and over, pulling him closer. The next morning his friends found his tent abandoned. His footprints led to the riverbank, but there was no sign of him anywhere. All they heard was the faint sound of crying, fading into the early morning mist. Before we talk about what happened that fateful night, let's explore the local legend of the Whispering Woods. Deep within an overgrown forest lies an abandoned campsite, long forgotten by most. The locals avoid it, claiming the trees harbor restless spirits. They say if you listen closely, you can hear whispers, faint voices that seem to drift between the branches, calling out to anyone who dares enter. A group of friends, eager to prove the legend wrong, decided to spend a night there. As the sun set and shadows lengthened, the air grew unnaturally still. Then they heard it. Faint whispers, so soft they could barely make out the words. But the voices weren't random. They were calling their names, one by one. As the night wore on, the whispers became louder, more insistent. until they felt surrounded. In a panic, the group decided to run, hoping to escape the voices, and for a moment, everything went silent. But just as they started to breathe again, one of them screamed. He pointed to the trees, his face pale with terror, claiming a shadowy figure was following them. The others saw nothing, but the look in his eyes was enough to send them sprinting into the darkness, not daring to look back. Before we talk about what became of the storyteller, let's uncover the dark origins of his tale. It is said that he was a man who loved the thrill of scaring people around the campfire, weaving tales of terror so vivid that his listeners would shiver long after the flames died down. But one night, he told a story he wasn't meant to share, a tale whispered to him by a vengeful spirit. The spirit cursed him, warning that anyone who heard his story would be haunted by nightmares of a chilling voice calling their name. At first, the curse seemed like just another layer to his terrifying stories. Listeners scoffed, believing it to be part of the act. But soon, whispers began to circulate about those who stayed up that night. People claimed they couldn't sleep, plagued by a voice so real it felt like someone was right beside them. Some even reported waking up in the middle of the night, drenched in sweat, convinced the voice was calling from the shadows of their room. Then one night, the storyteller gathered a crowd around the campfire, as he always did. He began to share another story, his voice low and commanding. But this time something was different. Halfway through the tale, he stopped speaking. His audience waited, thinking it was part of the suspense. But as the silence stretched on and they realized he was gone, the only thing left behind was his notebook, its pages filled with chilling, unfinished tales that no one dared to read aloud. Could the voices we've explored tonight simply be tricks of the mind, the result of fear amplifying the sounds of the night? Or is there truly something sinister lurking in the woods, hidden in the shadows, waiting for its next unsuspecting victim? The next time you find yourself gathered around a fire, with the dark pressing in close and the night alive with whispers, ask yourself this: will you dare listen to the voices? Or will you remember these stories and turn away? If you've ever experienced something chilling or unexplained, we'd love to hear about it. Share your story in the comments below. Your voice could be the next tale we tell. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like to let us know, and don't forget to subscribe to Cursed Voices for more spine-tingling tales. Hit the notification bell so you never miss a story that will keep you awake long after the fire has burned out. Until next time, stay safe and beware of the whispers in the dark.